Okay, hi everyone. It's 4 p.m. in London, 11 o'clock in New York, and 9:30 in India. Thank you all for coming here. I've just put all of you in mute right now, so you just have to unmute yourself when you want to speak. Today's discussion is about the home decor design sector, and we're looking at how we can all connect with each other, grow each other's businesses, and obviously find out the challenges that we've all faced with COVID and what's the way moving forward. We have some very interesting people here from all parts of the world. I can see people from America, UK, Europe, India, and it's fascinating to see everyone's here. And so because we have so many people, I don't want to waste more time. I thought we'll start with each one of you all. If you all want to speak, please press the raise hand button or just speak out. No formalities here. It's very, very casual. And the idea again is for everyone to connect and benefit, and this should be productive, so we all get something positive out of this. Okay, so we're going to start first with Mr. Firdaus. Firdaus, are you there? Yeah. Hi. So Firdaus, he's going to tell you, he's got a great software. He's got a big business in London, design furniture house called FCI. And we're going to take it from there. And then we're going to ask each one of you to speak individually. And then obviously we can bounce back questions from the audience. Okay. So Firdaus, would you like to start telling us about what you do?
Sure. Thank you for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here and to meet all you guys. So essentially, I'm an angel investor. I invest in early stage startup companies, usually technology, but also non-tech stuff like restaurants and bars and other things. My background is I used to work for Accenture, working as a strategic consultant, and then I kind of fell into property, commercial property, residential property, and then also furniture and interiors. And we have a large showroom, one of the largest showrooms in the UK for high-end modern interiors. We don't ourselves manufacture anything, so we act as distributors and agents for mid to high-end European brands. The showroom that we have is about 30,000 square foot, which is quite big for London, and it's a multi-award winning showroom. And I guess what we're focused on this year is really pivoting our business, because we have this beautiful showroom that nobody could visit. So we started pivoting our business and trying to understand how do we carry on doing business in these very abnormal times. So we decided to build a SaaS platform targeting predominantly interior designers and trade, because we realized that that clientele understood the product better than a B2C customer, and they still had their own businesses to carry on. So we built this platform, which essentially allows interior designers a space to manage their projects. We did a lot of research during the lockdown that we had in London. And what we realized is that most interior designers of a certain size, so less than 20 people roughly, are still surprisingly using Excel as the heart of their business. They're using Excel to build their quotations, they're using Excel to do their invoicing, they're using Excel to do their project management. And it's all a little bit disorganized, because Excel is not really designed for that. Especially if I'm sure you'll agree, we've all tried to put images into Excel and then try and share that, and the images kind of get screwed up. And so we built this platform that allows the ideation of the space or spaces. It allows product selection. It allows people to go across the entire website, across the internet rather, and select images and products from any supplier. So it's completely brand agnostic. So it's not like you only have to use products or services from our website or our catalog. And it allows this space for interior designers to bring all their ideas together. It has like a spreadsheet built into it that's more fit for purpose. It allows them to make lists of items, to-do lists, etc., link it to the items, assign budgets, assign statuses as to have I selected an item. And then it allows all of that to be shared with their client, so that they can fix the project. So the client says, okay, this is the project, we fixed it, so that there isn't project creep. It isn't like, oh, well, you said that you were going to also find me a painting, or you're going to do this, or you're going to do that. It allows a very accurate collaboration. And then it allows the interior designer to actually take images from anywhere and get quotes for those items. So we started using this tool, and we had really great response from the design community. So now we're building on that and building on that. And it's helped our teams to really focus on their sales. And we've actually grown very, very aggressively this year. And we've not only avoided a doomsday scenario, but we've actually beaten our original 2020 targets by quite a big factor. And so we've come out of 2020 much stronger. And it's allowed us to understand the B2B side of the market a lot better. And I gave you a little bit of background regarding, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, just a quick question about your software that you were talking about. If anybody would like to see a demo or would like to test it out, are you offering that for like a pre-trial or for your MVP?
Yeah, so as we discussed, Train, the other day, we're in MVP at the moment. It will be it's going to be a SaaS platform, so there will be a charge for it. But in collaboration with Train and the people that are on this seminar, what we're able to do is to offer a code which you guys can put in to have free access to the software and play around with it. So free access for 1 year actually to play around with it. And if you find it interesting, then potentially we can even create free codes for you to not just use for yourself, but to pass on to your customers as a value add, a 1 year free code. So you could be saying to your customers, look, there's this software, I can give you this code, you can use it for free. The reason we're doing it is because of my relationship with Train, where actually there's a strong personal relationship there. So we're extending that to him and his customers and his colleagues, including yourselves. But the main reason actually we're doing it is because the more users we get onto the platform and the more feedback we get, the better the next version of the software will be. So we believe it's kind of a win-win to give the software away for free at this stage. So yeah, absolutely. If anybody's interested, then we can connect after this webinar, and I can organize for one of my team to give you a live demo, or you can just look at a recording, or there's many ways to begin that interaction with the software if anybody's interested.
So just another question. So I mean, I've seen that you've got such a beautiful showroom in London, such a massive showroom. You said you don't manufacture anything. So how does it work? Do you buy from designers? Do you, like your furniture, all your art pieces, all the other stuff that you have? How does it work? Do you buy? Do you work partnerships with them? Do you commission stuff with them? What is your way of working?
So the core business is furniture and interiors products, and we act as resellers or we act as agents for mid to top end European brands. So they will place the items in our showroom, usually like on a sale or return contract. We will promote those items, and then they will take orders. Everything is to order. So we don't hold stock of anything, because at our end of the market, customization is very important. So somebody might like that table, but they might want it in a particular finish or a particular size. So we don't hold stock. So the showroom is all the product that the suppliers place in there. We then take orders against those products. We also own equity in a couple of small factories in Europe, where they make specific items for us. We're not the controlling shareholders, we just own some small equity. And then when it comes to art and sculpture and stuff like that, we collaborate with different artists depending on who's trending or who we have relationships with. And again, they will place things in the showroom, and when they're sold, then we have a commercial agreement in terms of what we make.
So if someone wants to maybe sell through your network or sell through your stores, what is the best way that they have to do they contact you? Do they send you a brochure? How does the process work?
Right. So we have a very, very stringent kind of our brand is our offer, basically. So we've got quite a stringent selection process, and we have some forms that suppliers can fill out if they want to be part of our collection. And then it goes through our trade team and our retail team and our web team. And if all of those teams then concur that they're happy, then it gets to me. Then I look at the commercial opportunity, and then we have a conversation.
And just for ballpark, what is the markups that you work with? Just for an average, just for so people get an understanding. So if a piece landed to you would cost you say £1,000, how would you sell it to the customer?
Yeah, so it depends on the analysis that we do. So first we will look at the brand strength. So if we take a brand, for example, I don't know, like Flexform or Galotti and Radici, or a top tier brand, then the markup will be defined by the brand themselves, because they will have a suggested retail price. And normally on something like that, there'll be about 45 to 50%, right? Because the brand caps it by having their own price, their own retail price. If it's a smaller brand or a brand that doesn't have a very strong presence in the UK, then we will come up with a formula that we think is right. And usually that will be a discussion internally that our trade managers and our retail managers will have. To give you a ballpark, I mean, anything from a 2.6, 2.7 markup on cost up to 5, depending on the product and depending on how much effort we're going to put into selling it. The less effort we put in. So for example, if a brand is going to spend $500,000 on advertising their own brand in the UK, then we understandably have to take a smaller markup. But if they're not going to spend anything on marketing at all in the UK, then we will put a higher markup, because we will then be effectively through our various channels promoting that product.
Okay, just a quick question. Does anybody have any questions for Firdaus right now? Please feel free, because then we're going to move on to the other speakers and then move back. Does anyone have any questions? Please go ahead.
I wanted to ask that when you said that you take custom orders and don't hold stocks, the cost of logistics and shipping is very heavy, especially in the furniture industry. So how do you manage that if somebody just orders one table from Europe? How does the economics work?
In short, the client pays, because it's mid to high value. The transportation cost has to be added on. But of course, because we're doing large volumes on any given, so there's 2 points. It's a good question. There's 2 points. The first thing is the brands that we sell are not exclusive to us in the whole country. So I'll use Flexform as an example. Each month, they will have a truck coming from Italy filled with orders for the UK. So they'll have Harrods, they'll have Selfridges, they'll have us, they'll have their shipments in those trucks. And when we quote the client, we're quoting a 12-week lead time. So within that 12 weeks, the supplier will collate a number of orders and then deliver them. And usually from Europe, the cost of transportation is about 10% on invoice, which the client absorbs. We put it into the retail price, so the client has to pay that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now we're just, Firdaus, great. Thank you so much for answering. We're going to get back to you.
Can we have Mr. Firdaus's website on the chat?
Of course. I think is it fcilondon.co.uk?
That's right. Yeah, fcilondon.co.uk.
Yeah. Please, can you type it out? Then we'll just click.
We can send our catalog on the mail ID of yours.
Sure.
You
can get Firdaus's contact, and then you can send him all your information. Now I'm just going to move to Mr. Phil Hicks from Created Hardwood. How are you? Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, great. So why don't you start and tell us about what you do, and then I'm just going to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I'm glad I got to follow up. I'm sorry. How do you pronounce your name, Firdaus?
Firdaus. Yeah, Firdaus.
Sorry, I'd muted myself. Sorry. Yeah, it's Firdaus.
Firdaus. Okay, great. Yeah, we'll definitely have something to talk about, I think. So this is already good. Yeah. So thanks for reaching out to me. We're a smaller company. We've been in business for only about 5 years, but we've really learned, just like any other startup company, the stuff that definitely doesn't work and the stuff that does work, and we're still learning a lot. But yeah, this year's been really interesting with COVID, because before the pandemic, we were doing about 70% commercial and about 30% residential. So commercial was a big part of our business, whether it be conference tables, executive desks, community tables, just work surfaces. But yeah, that's completely flip-flopped. The residential business right now, fortunately, is very strong. So with our big, with our forecast being way off for commercial, the residential has been a lot higher. So still going to be a decent year. Definitely didn't hit the forecast I had made last November for 2020, but we're still hanging in there, which is just something to be thankful for.
But don't you feel with COVID and everyone sitting at home, everyone wants to make their home beautiful?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. So people are like, we've been staring at this dining room table for the last 6 months. We've had it for 10 years and we're just tired of looking at it. We're like, man, we need to, instead of going to Mexico or wherever they usually go for vacation, they're like, let's spend the money and get a cool new dining table. So absolutely, yeah, that's been going on quite a bit. So, and by the way, I'm located in Ohio. I don't know who all is here from the U.S., but the majority, got one. I just saw Rebecca there. Paul. Okay, great. So, majority of our business is in the U.S. We are doing some into Canada. We have done some quotes over to Europe, but we have yet to we don't have any reps set up in Europe. So the other reason this is appealing is it's definitely something that I'd like to broaden our market with. We have reps in just about every state in the U.S. that call on architect and design firms and commercial furniture dealers. And then as far as our residential part goes, that's something that we handle on our own. Just to go over some of the things that make us different and what's working. Can everybody see my screen here that has a big walnut table on it? No good?
No, actually, Firdaus is pinned, so that's the human that I'm.
How about now? Is that good?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Although Firdaus is still pinned, if somebody wants to unpin him, we'll see.
I'm just going to unpin him. Yeah, you're right. Remove.
Thanks.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just breeze through this real quick, and then let you guys ask some questions. But what's really worked well for us? One, I think we've got a great design. My brother is the guy that handles all of our design, and we skew a little bit more towards the modern side of things. But we also understand that some people are more traditional. So it's amazing how subtle of a difference you can make by just adding a different base that can take it from something very modern to something a little bit more traditional. So I like to think we kind of check the boxes on everything that's available there as well. As far as our wood species go, maple, sycamore, oak ash, cherry, walnut, and our ebonized wood are our core species. But if there's a customer that wants to do something very specific, like we've had 2 requests for Guanacaste out of Costa Rica. People have had homes there, and the CEO has wanted to do a boardroom table that's made out of wood that's native from there. So we're able to source wood from all over the country too. But one thing that's been working really well for us, I don't know how much experience or any experience you folks have had with solid wood products or even live edge products, but most of the feedback I get from people is negative. They're like, the communication's bad, it takes forever to get a quote, they don't have good visuals, and their inventory's not good. So we've really committed to having a really large inventory, and we also have 3 options. So the nice thing about our bronze, silver, and gold grade is basically what I'm going to talk about. So what's nice about our bronze grade, that's our entry level wood. It's plank composition, so you can see it's several boards that are joined together to form one slab. Nice thing about that is that we can do those in very large quantities. Our largest project so far with bronze grade has been a little over 600. Then we've done some other cool projects too, like for Louis Vuitton, one of their corporate offices down in Dallas, they did all of the bronze grade ebonized maples. We can do them with live edges or straight edges too. So that was definitely more of a commercial type of an application. But like I said, these are the ones that we can do in very large scales. And we can also do them in large sizes too. And if anybody has any questions as I'm running through this, feel free to stop and ask. I know it's a lot of information too. So silver grade is going to be a solid or a book match slab. So for those of you that don't know what a book match is, a book match is two consecutive slabs that are on top of each other, basically folded out like this and join it together. So it's one large slab and it kind of has a mirror look to it. Silver grade will be that mid price point option. So let's say you had an order or had a customer that wanted to do a 8-foot table, and they wanted to do it 8 feet, 96 by 40 to 44, and they want to do ebonized maple. We would go to our inventory, and currently we've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 800 slabs in stock right now, which is really, really large. And we pick out the ones that fit best for that. We show them the image with bases, how far the bases are inset, and they approve it and move forward with it. Gold grade.
One second, just to interrupt. So you'd say most of your customers would be direct customers, or would it be like stores and outlets?
Both. So some of the business, like I'm sitting in my showroom right now in Columbus, Ohio. So the people that come in here are obviously working directly with us, but we've got some furniture dealers that we work with around Ohio. But in normal times, the majority of our business is either commercial furniture dealers where the reps are saying, hey, we need to quote 8 of these silver grade tables and maybe a gold grade for a boardroom table. So typically we have reps and furniture dealers that sell this for us, but the ones
when you work with your reps, what is the percentage that you give your reps? Just so an understanding, if somebody wanted to become a rep for your company, what is the percentage? Because that's what we do at Fashionably, and we collect reps with companies. So just what is the percentage that you would give them on an order? 10%. Okay, so that's
if they sell a $10,000 table, then you can do the math. Or if it's a smaller order, it's $3,000, $300.
And what would you say your average price of your products would be?
They range all over the place. I mean, I would say probably the average or maybe the median is maybe $4,000, but then we'll do cutting boards that are a couple $100, or we'll do a boardroom table that's $80,000. So it's tough to kind of find an average, but they can be all over the place. As far as gold grade goes, gold grade is going to be the most expensive option that allows for a little bit more customization. The customer can actually select from some options, like we'll say, hey, here's your 20-foot boardroom table. You can choose from these 3 slabs. You can do a little bit more customization to it. Just allows for a little bit more hands-on experience. So kind of like what we were talking about before for that customer that's mid to high end. We provide a really cool experience with customization and renderings and very detailed drawing. So if somebody is getting something shipped overseas, they're not going to have any surprises on.
And what is the lead time that they're looking at from the time they place an order to the final product?
So in the US or Canada, we're at 6 to 8 weeks. So if we're shipping overseas, it'll just depend on where it's going. But 6 to 8 weeks is our standard lead time that we have.
Okay, so now just to get a little interaction with the 2 speakers that we've just had. So Firdaus, if Phil had to work with you, how would he go about it? Just so people would know the process and how things can happen. I think Firdaus, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, so as I said, he would submit kind of an application. I don't like to use the word application, but he'd start a conversation with our trade and retail team by sending us information on the product, pricing, margins, logistics. In Phil's case, we wouldn't be interested in getting involved in X work, so he would have to work out the logistics options, including insurance and clearing and all the rest of it, to our UK warehouse. He would also then need to give us an idea of what his marketing plan for the UK would be if any, who else he's working with in the UK, what other shops are stocking his products. And then that would go through trade, that would go through retail, then that would go through web. And then once that's done, and if they're all happy and they sign off on it, then it would come to me to then review the commercial agreement in terms of, you know, what margins we can make. And even that, to be honest, by the end of Q1, I'll be out of that equation as well, and there'll be somebody else doing that final selection. And what it means is that once you get on and once you're in into our kind of our process and our product listing, is then, you know, you're in quite good company. And what's very important to us is that the interior designers who are working with us also then don't need to concern themselves as to what they're buying. If it's from our catalog, they know that they're not going to be embarrassed, even if they've never heard of that brand before, because we've done all the DD, the due diligence.
So yeah, so for us, yeah, I don't, to answer, I don't have any business in Europe right now. So it would be one of those things where I'd be interested in kind of hearing more about, you know, some of the differences between the US and over in Europe. So there wouldn't be anybody else that would be stocking this product. So I would just have to figure out, when we have done quotes before overseas, we've just quoted down to a warehouse and then, or I'm sorry, to the port in the US. And then the customer that we were working with was going to take it from that part and assume shipping to their location. So do you ever work with that, or is it just always?
We used to. We don't do that anymore.
Okay.
We just don't need the headache. We know what we're good at, and logistics is not something that we want to get involved in. It's got to be somebody else's headache.
Understand. Okay. I've got a specialist that I work with, and I could kind of see what it would do that. So.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there is a lot of solid wooden product out in Europe, and so, you know, we'd have to look and see what the advantages of working with you in particular. But yeah, that would be the process.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Just if I just want to move to some other people, if you don't mind, and I'll come back to you. Right? Is that okay?
Yep. Absolutely.
Just so we get everyone to speak. 1 second. I'm just gonna find. Okay, so now I'm just looking at David. David, are you here?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, David. Okay, so 1 second. I'm just going to mute all and I'm going to unmute you so I get you completely. Okay. And 1 second. Yeah. So David, can you tell us? So you're from the total other side of the world. So we'd like to know what's happening. Can you tell us? So you're where? You're from New Zealand, right? Oh, wait, you need to unmute. You need to, yeah.
So,
okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Great.
Yeah, I'm David Heath, a co-owner of a company called Vertex Limited in New Zealand. So we're down on the bottom side. It's 5:30 in the morning here at the moment.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that, but we're so glad that you could join us from all the way there. Fine. And since you're, I mean, I just saw that you're an importer. So a lot of people would definitely want to connect with you, which is interesting because you're the buyer as well. So why don't you tell us more about your business? What are you buying? And then we can bounce off some questions as well.
We're importers and wholesalers of home textiles products. Vertex is actually a family business now in its 4th generation. My brother Ben and I are in the 3rd generation, and my 3 sons are now taking up the reins. And it's going from strength to strength. My grandfather actually started the business in 1939 trading in fur skins for the clothing trade, which of course ladies' fur coats in those days were very strong. The business has changed substantially through the generations, and believe it or not, we actually still have a small range of fur products as part of our collections. But I think our business really concentrates on home textiles products, that is cushions and floor rugs and throws. And we're selling to the retail market throughout New Zealand and Australia. Social media plays a big part in home fashion with consumers, as everybody would know, but I think also in B2B. And we're currently building up our activity in the space and expect to see some really interesting results in the near future. Our flagship brand is Mulberry, and this brand is very active on social media. Our plan is to increase our activity on Facebook and Pinterest early next year. Again, mainly with our Mulberry brand as the target consumer market being a 35 to 55-year-old woman in mid to high socioeconomic bracket who appreciates fashion in the home. If I was to describe our company in 3 words, I'd probably be saying values, design, and sourcing. We've recently started a relationship with Goodweave, and it really answers to our company values as we strive to ensure that people of today, that's our craftspeople, mainly in India, and the environment are protected and valued. Design is of absolute.
Sorry to interrupt. So where would you say you're importing more from? Which are the countries that you're importing your products from?
We would import mostly from India, because obviously it's a textile haven, if you like, of the world. But we import from all countries, Belgium, Germany. We're importing from all around, is the answer to that.
And like, just to get an understanding of pricing, are you importing stuff which is like on the mass market range or the premium range? What is the markups that you put? This is just to understand the kind of business on an overall level, you know, just so people also understand. And so if people present to you products, they could also know what to give you at what price points, so then you could market and sell it at something which would work in your market.
Yes, so because I mean mid to high end is our consumer, but in saying that, because selling to retailers, so we're wholesalers, importers and wholesalers, and we obviously are looking for volume. Therefore, our prices do have to be keen. So we're always looking for products which are look good quality and are going to attract that mid to high end consumer, but are obviously reasonably priced to allow the retail stores to get their markup on that they want as well.
And do you sell, you said you obviously sell directly to customers as well, or you sell more, would you say most of your business is to the retail chains?
We're strictly wholesale, so we only sell to retail chains. We do have a trade showroom where we sell to interior designers direct, but we see that as similar to wholesale, to be honest.
Would you say your business has been affected with COVID? Has that affected your business? And what do you think is the way moving forward?
Yes, I would say it has been affected, but it's been affected completely the opposite way to what we expected. In looking back to March this year, when COVID hit us all, we braced ourselves for the worst, and we actually found out the opposite happened. And I think because New Zealand and Australia are both islands, we've been very privileged to be preserved from such a widespread outbreak, and the governments have been very strong on protecting the people by closing the borders, which of course is relatively easy to do when you're surrounded by sea. However, that has had a really positive impact on trade, particularly in home interiors, as people increase their value in their home, and the money they've put aside for their next overseas journey has now been used on their homes instead. So we really hope that stays. We have never been busier. In fact, our main problem at the moment is our main challenge at the moment is actually trying to get stock. We just can't get enough stock. So it's a great position to be in, and we just long may it last.
Okay, so just because I see there are a lot of people from India here as well, and I see maybe I can see that they are manufacturers. So what kind of stock are you looking to buy? So we could put that out there.
Yeah, so our main product lines are still floor rugs and throws and cushions. They seem to be the main areas where we're finding the strength is. So that's where we mainly concentrate.
And approximately at what pricing do you buy these products at? Like, what is the pricing that you buy them at? Just approximates, ballpark.
Now, that's a hard question to answer because it depends completely on what the product is and what area of the market it's sitting in.
You could give us like a range. Like
for instance, a floor rug, we may buy something that's only $10 per square meter, but then we're also interested in some rugs that are $100 per square meter, depending on where they sit in the market and what type of product they are. Obviously, we have different customers for different products. So I'm sorry, I cannot be more specific than that. It's just that's where we sit across quite a wide range of products.
But just a quick question: you said you price in US dollars. Is that a standard of when things come to you in New Zealand as well?
That's right. That's mainly because that's the way most of our suppliers deal with us is in US dollars. So we've just been very used to buying that way.
So it's very funny because whenever I speak to people about where they want to expand their business, everybody says one thing to me: America, America, America. And that's why I want to get to all the American panelists over here, because I see that everybody that I speak to, I mean, I'm talking to people, we're doing webinars on a weekly basis about the fashion and design industry. And everyone is very keen about how growing their business in the United States. So Mr. David, I'm going to get back to you. I just want to get to our US panelists over here. We have Rebecca and we have Paul, right? Are you, and oh, Mr. Legacy, you have a question? Do you have a question? I think you'll have to unmute yourself.
I want to know the contact number of Mr. David Heath, his company profile, company's website.
Mr. David Heath, could you just write it on chat so everyone who wants to contact you can have their information, can have your information and then send you a message? And we're going to get back to you.
I'll put it into the chat. The other thing is that we're very interested in opening our markets into the global area. So we've only got, we have a customer at the moment we've just started trading with in the Netherlands, another one in Taiwan. But our next step is obviously to open our markets to Europe and the UK and United States, Canada, anywhere. We're interested in anybody that's interested in our products as well. So I'll pop my details into the chat.
Okay, so just going to move on to some of our US panelists over here. Rebecca, would you like to say something?
Sure. Do you have something specific you would like me to say, or shall I just introduce myself?
Yeah, it'd be great to introduce yourself, tell us about what you do, and then we'll just bounce off some questions. Is that fine? Yeah, please go ahead.
That sounds perfect. So I'm Rebecca West. I have been the owner and I was the founder of an residential interior design company here in Seattle, Washington in the United States called Seriously Happy Homes. And in the 13 years since I started that company, I went from being me at a tiny desk to having a team of 7 people. And as well as a book. Yeah, it was not I didn't plan it. It just has grown as many businesses do. And then you kind of look back and go, wow, I built that. I also have a book called Happy Starts at Home, a podcast called Creating Your Happy Place, and now I'm a business coach to other interior designers who are struggling to create their own sustainable systems and boundaries and hiring people, etc. I'm a little bit different from many of my interior design colleagues for 2 reasons. Number one, we only source retail. So we do not purchase anything for our clients. We are shopping for our clients at what I call the usual suspects here in Seattle, which would be Crate and Barrel. I think I saw somebody from Crate and Barrel here on the call. Room and Board, West Elm.
We actually had Crate and Barrel online just now.
Oh, you're breaking up a little.
No, I said we actually had.
We source. We're having some crossover here. All right, I'll keep going because I see you're muted now. So we source retail because we only want to be paid for our design time And then that way our clients can make the purchases themselves. One of the things I'm really excited about in this conversation is one of the things I've wanted to do for a long time was get more familiar with the brands behind these distributors, behind these retailers, so that I can speak more to my clients about the quality differences between different options, that without having to reveal the manufacturers, because the clients don't care, but help them make more informed decisions when shopping retail. And then we do everything flat fee as a result. So we can say, yes, we will design whatever for you, and here's the flat fee. I'm thrilled about COVID, which is a weird thing to say, but I'm thrilled about it for two reasons. One, I'm planning to move to Paris with my husband in a couple of years, so I'm really excited to connect globally. My publisher's out of London, so I'm thrilled to start making these connections. And I'm thrilled because it's allowing all of us to get familiar with Zoom and connect in ways that we never would have gotten to connect had this not all happened. It just really accelerated that, which I just think is absolutely thrilling.
Absolutely.
And so it's like everybody said so far, it's been a good year for us. Everybody's at home. And so while we've been constantly navigating the challenges of, can anybody come to work, who's been exposed, all of that, we've leveled up our virtual consults, our virtual design services, and it's only going to lead to good outcomes. And our revenue is up this year compared to last year, which I did not expect to see.
So you would say most of your customers, your clients are just consumers, daily people who come to you for advice, and then you curate and plan, and that's what you do, right? So like, for example, I'm just thinking of like, so for example, Phil, who showed us all his beautiful woodwork, you could connect him with more clients, and that's something that you could do as well.
As long as whoever we're working with, the main thing is that either the contractor or the client needs to be able to purchase directly, because no money passes through our company. So obviously, if it's like a kitchen remodel with our counter manufacturers, they're not selling directly to the client. They would be buying that through the contractor. But if we're furnishing a room, it would need to be through something where the client can either buy directly from the maker or through a retailer of some other kind. That's simply how we've set up our company.
And then you work how? You work on a commission base, or how does it work with you?
No, it's all flat fee. So we look at the scope of the project. So we'll say, okay, we're going to design the living room and dining room for this client. Based on our experience having done this, we will assign a fee. Usually our design fees are anywhere from $3,500 to $6,500 US.
So that's from the client, but from the manufacturer or the store that you source from, do you get a commission from them as well?
No, I've chosen to avoid referral fees and commissions if I can, because I want to feel free to recommend whatever's best for my client.
Absolutely,
In
yeah.
some cases, when a manufacturer or a retailer is set up to always give a referral fee, we have a charity fund that we put that in, and we donate that out, because I don't want it to influence our referral or
So Phil's 10% can go to some charity.
That's how we do it.
Yeah. So, and that's that's the thing I didn't mention earlier is designers are a huge part of our business too. And yeah, typically we do give a designer discount, so to speak, and designers can either choose to pass along some of that discount or scoop some of it. But yeah, designers are especially this year, they've been the lifeblood of our company. As opposed to before, our commercial reps were the lifebloods. But yeah, absolutely. I think Rebecca, we could be a good connection, and I do have reps in Seattle too.
Awesome. Well, and to be clear, I think that that 10% is a very important thing to pass on to designers when they're doing the work. If they are specifying and taking delivery and making sure it's right, that money really needs to go to them, because that's different from design work. That is the labor of getting something from the person who made it to the home. But since we don't execute the projects, we don't need to make that money. And so there's just for us to hold on to it.
Okay, I'm just going to ask the audience before Paul, I just want to ask you a question. Would you like to come in, because I see you?
Yes, sure. I'll come in whenever you invite me.
No, so I just want to ask. So Paul, can you tell us a little about what you do, and just go on, just go free.
Absolutely. Maybe it's better that I share my screen they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So can everyone see this picture of me sitting on this console?
Wow.
Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, my name is Paul Jeffrey. I design and manufacture custom, modern, high-end furniture. I'm based out of Phoenix, Arizona. I've been doing this nearly 2 decades. I am self-taught. My background is in automotive design. I used to be a concept car designer for Ford Motor Company. Felt a little stifled with that corporate environment and decided to go off on my own. So I'm just going to flash through a few more pieces. So in this market in Phoenix, we are like, you know, rock stars. And the reason why we're like that is because we didn't come up through a traditional woodworking school. So, you know, we started off with some basic tools and we learned how to build things in a very unorthodox manner. So, you know, this is for high income clients. We used to have a showroom here, but then we found out the clients didn't really need to come to the showroom because the essence of our design is, or the magic in the design happens in the house. So we need to go to the house and interview them in their space where they're most comfortable talking to us, where we can see the other things that they bought, where we can also listen to the voice of the space. So all of our pieces are one-off and they are complete reflections of our clients' thinking. We listen very good and then we just try to interpret whatever they want in some sort of a three-dimensional form. So I'm having some technical difficulty. So the dining table, I think it's pretty obvious what that is. And I had one more image to show you. So in the last couple of years, we have gotten a lot of press. We spent some time in Europe last year. I was blessed to speak at the Royal Academy of Arts in The Hague. Some other opportunities have come up for us overseas, which we've been unable to take advantage of because we don't have production, you know, outside of the Phoenix and some of the surrounding states here. So that's sort of our problem right now. We can't really take advantage of our growing, you know, awareness because the logistics is so high. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. I have questions.
1 second, I'm just gonna get, yeah. So you said you don't have any, so you manufacture all of this by yourself in your own factory. And what are the lead times that if someone wants to place an order, how does it work?
So yeah, we do have a local shop here, but we also have, you know, in Mexico, we outsource, and then we outsource to some folks in California. So it's very difficult in the States right now to find skilled laborers. So outsourcing is our way to sort of get it done. So from the time you contact us, let's say it might take anywhere from, you know, 30 days to 45 days to get the design right. We hate to repeat anything. So, you know, to try to interpret the words that you've given me into something else, it can take a little time. So from the time that you get the design that you love, you're talking 12 to 14 weeks, 16 weeks, depending on where you're at in the country.
And would you say if you were to look at expanding your business, I know it's very like high end, very, what would you say? Would you look at like high end stores, or are you looking at more going directly to customer? What is your way forward in your business?
Well, you know, we started off getting the trade, so we were in a trade showroom here locally, and it just didn't being the middleman. Maybe it's changed for us now that our brand has some notoriety, but in the beginning, you know, the designer wanted to tell us how much to make, and that just didn't work for us in, you know, in the custom arena. So now that our has enough strength, it may re-enter again the trade market, maybe re-enter you know, the retail space. That is something, you know, we would like to explore, but to be quite frank, there's so much business, unexpected business since COVID hit, that we don't have time to think about anything else.
That's great. That's great. So I'm just thinking out loud. Maybe Firdaus is someone that you could send your. Firdaus is Paul. How would Paul get in touch? Now again, he just send you his. Is it the application? He just contact you. How would he go about it? Is that something that you feel would work in the UK market? Because I just feel like. Yeah. Sorry.
From what I'm understanding, I think from what I'm understanding, Paul's USP is being very close to the end consumer. I think it's a very consultancy, almost art kind of driven model rather than a production, driven model. And I think that his strength seems to lie in his local audience and the local clientele being very aware of his brand. And given how busy he is satisfying that and building up his relationships there, I think it wouldn't make sense for him to start venturing into some sort of export scenario whereby he's doing it through a retail showroom, because I think that the strength really, from what I'm understanding, is that communication between him and his audience. Like when you commission a painting, you really kind of understand from the painter what the painter understands from you what you want, and they understand your space, and then they put their spin on it. And I think that beauty cannot easily be translated by Paul placing a sideboard in a retail showroom. Having said that, the furniture is beautiful, but I mean, it depends on price points. It depends on so many things. I mean, that given the amount of information I have right now about Paul's business, that's all I'd really be able to say.
And Rebecca, how would you work with Paul, just to get an understanding of how you'd now you've got a beautiful furniture designer. How would you take this forward, just to understand?
So if I had a client who was looking for something at that level of customization, I really believe that artists should be allowed to do what they're really good at, right? And this would be true for even like tile work. I'm not a craftsperson. I don't know how things should be built. So I would be saying, okay, this is my concept for this wall, but then I would connect my client directly with Paul and say, you're going to take this and now you're going to work out the details together, because he knows his craft. And so it would be a hopefully conversation between him and the client rather than me being a middle person. But every interior designer is very different. And I don't have the need to control the outcomes of my designs as much as many interior designers. So in my case, it'd be very collaborative between him and the client, whereas with many of my colleagues, they would specify it very, very tightly and then say, Paul, do this. But I mean, you'd look at his work and I'm like, why would I get in the way of Paul's art? That's amazing.
It is amazing. I agree. Fabulous. Okay, now just gonna get to Colonial Collections. We're gonna just move around a bit because we're running short of time, and then we'll get back to. I think we're gonna extend the webinar for a few more minutes if everyone's okay today, because I just feel that we need a few more questions from everybody. Now, getting to Colonial Collections. Sorry, what is your full name? What is your company? What do you do? Please tell us.
Okay, I'm Niloufar Rustamji. I'm the founder of Colonial Collections, and we've been in the business for the last 30 years.
And where are you based?
We're located in Mumbai, India.
Okay, fabulous.
Are you guys connected to Rustamji, the home builders?
No, we just share the surname.
Okay. So... we're doing some projects with them. That's why I thought if there was a connection.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So we are retailers as well as manufacturers of furniture. And similarly, let me just share my screen and it'll give you a sort of sense of what we do. Yeah, this is like, so I'm just going to thumbnail a few of our works. We specialize in seating. Actually, we specialize in all kinds of loose furniture for a home. And we work on, so it's beds, dining tables, desks. We also focus very much on our production being very handcrafted. We're a small company, but we do large projects. So starting from official residences, government residences, we house in India when they launched recently. And we've done the Hakkasan restaurant in Bombay. We do a lot of show flats. So our range is quite a lot. We ourselves are passionate about furniture, interested in different styles, and design and manufacture different styles of furniture. So that's really what we do.
So just a quick question. If Firdaus, if she wanted to contact you again, just because I see similarities working over here, I mean, what do you assess, and what do you think is the best way forward?
Well, I mean, I'm from Bombay myself. I was born in Bombay, and we have a little retail space. I mean, I'm not involved in that in Fort near Colaba, and I have my back office. We have several different businesses. We also have a software business which is based out in Bombay. And it'll be interesting just to have a conversation, because we get contacted quite often by architects and interior designers who want to work with some of the European brands that we have distribution with. And there's already an Indian distributor for that brand, but the Indian guys want to charge, you know, an astronomical amount. So sometimes they bypass that and they get to Italy via us at quite preferential prices. So we know that we've worked with, so you know, there might be scenarios whereby you're doing a refurb or you're doing a particular project and there's certain pieces which you need to import. And that could be an interesting way for us to support you, because the prices that we would buy, because the volumes that we buy from the Italians give us a certain price point, which perhaps you might not have access to. So there's a conversation there. But also, I mean, you're doing interesting projects, and we do have sometimes inquiries from India where people want us to supply into India a European design, but they don't want to pay that price. So that could be a handover. We might just say, look, you know, we hand the client over to you guys and you take care of that. So we've done like projects for Talati and people like that in the past. So I'm sure there's a conversation there. And I come to India. I mean, I haven't been to India since last December, but you know, my family's there. So there's potential to have a coffee or something there. Are you a member of YPO in India?
No, I am not. But my showroom is, no, I'm not a member of these groups. But my showroom is also in the Fort area.
Oh, how funny. Okay.
So cool. We're almost.
So there's probably a connect there.
Yes, there's a connect there.
Cool.
So we should have that coffee when you're next.
What's your second name, Nilüfer? Oh, of course, Rustamji.
Of course, Rustamji. You won't forget that now.
No, I won't forget that now.
Yeah. So we'll be in touch over email.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Could I ask a question too, real quick?
Yes.
Do you work with any? I noticed that you've done some restaurants and hotels. That's also a big part of what we do. At least a big part of what we did before COVID. It'll come back. It's just been slow this year. But do you use any American suppliers for those products? Because those designs, like, it's tough to see on this catalog, and I can send it over to you. But this type of stuff, we do a lot of really high-end restaurants, and whether it be private dining room tables. But then we also just do the 24 by 24s, the tables that cost, $300 or $400, depending on what they're looking for. And it's all solid wood. It's not veneer, and it's not laminate either. So I don't know if there might be an opportunity there at some point.
So up until now, we have actually just focused on supplying furniture that we manufacture.
Okay, all right.
We haven't really sort of seeked out trading in furniture from other companies or other countries. And but we're always open, because the markets are opening. Actually things have changed dramatically, I would say, in the last few years. And it's amazing that how each one of us who has spoken has had very interesting experiences through COVID. And as we rightly said, the exciting part of COVID has been, as Rebecca said, it's just opened up the world. And we are chatting today. I don't think I've done that in 30 years, We otherwise are all living in our little cubby holes, busy with our business, busy with our projects. So it's going to be, and so we are totally open to any good suggestions, and sort of working with anybody who has the same synergistic, approach to furniture.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, just quick question. We're going to move to Mr. Tushar from Legacy Exim. Mr. Tushar, we need to see your face a little bit more. Your little cut off. And why don't you tell us more about what you do and and what exactly you're looking to expand, where you're looking to expand your business as well.
Sir, we are a manufacturer exporter of Indian soft furnishings products, particularly traditional soft furnishings products of Gujarat, such as the cushion cover, bed cover, pillow cover, curtains, etc. And right now I'm exporting to very small to amount to USA, and I'm more interested to expand in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Japan also.
So your products, if I'm not mistaken, can work probably with Mr. David. I mean, that's the,
Yes, sir.
obviously.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's why I raised my hand to ask his contact number.
Okay. So, Mr. David, what is the best way that Mr. Tushar would contact you? What is how is the process? How would you tell us how would he go about it, or how would another supplier go about it?
Yeah, so I popped into the chat my email address and our website, and also my WhatsApp number if you would like to contact me that way.
Okay.
I look after all the sourcing for our company, and I work with it. I have a design team which would then get in touch with you to arrange designs that we would like.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, just to get to everyone, the press room, would you like to say something?
Good morning. How are you?
We can't hear you. You need to be a little louder.
Right at my computer. Can you hear me now?
No, it's a little soft. Can anyone else hear him?
Hello. Hello. Good morning.
It's a little too soft. I think you'll have to be a little louder.
Well, my volume is up on my computer. I'm not
Okay, it's good. It's good. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Maybe it's because it's early here in San Francisco, not as early as New Zealand, but my tea is kicking in. Anyway, my name is Mark Sackett. I put a big thing in the side chat for anybody who's interested in knowing more about us, but I own the press room and mercantile at the Box SF in San Francisco. We are the largest antique, ephemera, and printed matter store in the world. We're in a famous building, the old William Randolph Hearst printing plant, and we have over 15 million rare and unique objects for sale. And we work. I'm a graphic designer and an interior designer, and I built this store 2 years ago to look like an 1850s country store. So I went all over the world, found hundreds of unique cabinets. Anybody that goes to the website or to our Instagram at the Box SF will see the uniqueness of the store. When people come in, their jaws drop open, and so there's nothing like it. And I created it. I'm a graphic designer, so 2 years ago I created it out of personal collections that I've had for over 50 years. And now I am selling it, and created this store. And we work with graphic designers, interior designers, artists, brands, restaurants, retailers all over the world who are looking to place unique objects either framed on their walls or physical objects in their stores. Like a restaurant in Dallas just purchased about $5,000 worth of food-related items every time. So we work with the San Francisco International Airport. They have airport museums out there, so they rent some of our things under a prop rental scenario for exhibitions. And we work with people all over the world. We have clients in about 68 countries.
So where are you looking to expand your business? Like you mentioned, who are the people that you would like to target? So maybe we can search for them if they're here, or anyone we could put you in touch with.
Well, based on what I've heard here so far, most people here seem to be manufacturers or designers who are trying to place products. The difficulty for me is that most of what we have downstairs, we might have 6 or 7 of a particular unique label or a particular unique item, but most of what we have are one of a kind. So it's really for me, it's really more about expanding that voice around the world via social media, our Pinterest page, our YouTube channel, our Instagram, certainly, our online store. And COVID has crushed us. I had a multi-million-dollar a year business on the 3rd floor of this building. It was events, and events aren't going to be coming back anytime soon. So I've pivoted and turned that into kind of like an expansion of the antique and prop rental business that I had. But the store itself, we're just looking for customers and growth, and designers and people who are looking to place graphical items and unique items within their projects.
So Rebecca, just to get to you as well,
And you are retail, right? So
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, whoever asked the question, yes, we are retail.
yeah, so you are. And I just went over to your website, and now I'm just gotta like, when can I get the next ticket to San Francisco so I can get to your store? Lovely, totally up my alley. So I'm very excited to
on Instagram. So
love it.
So how would you do? Do you have do you have all your pieces cataloged, or is it like?
Oh, like for instance, I've been cleaning out my archives during COVID, and I've discovered yesterday over 10,000 objects in the basement that have been haven't even been packed in probably 30 years. So I mean,
I hope you have a lot of cameras all around security.
We do have security cameras. In fact, somebody smashed our 8-foot plate glass window 2 days ago, and I just had it replaced yesterday. So, but our windows downstairs are reflective glass, so people can't see in at night. But it's interesting. COVID has literally crushed us because, as any of you can imagine, as a retail business, we were allowed to open a couple of months ago, but nobody's coming. And I thought it was interesting, and I'd like to ask kind of everyone their opinion. But a lot of people have talked about how so many people are putting money into their homes now because they can't go out and do all the other things that they used to do. I'm not seeing that because.
But what if you cataloged? If you cataloged all your products and put it all online, don't you think that would open a new avenue of business for your company?
Yeah, we have 4,000 or 5,000 products online and over 20,000 images on our Instagram. The hard thing is, as you can imagine, with 15 million items, everything has to be either scanned or everything. So we scan about 1,000 items a day. And then we try to put things up on our site and on eBay and on the various channels that we have. But we're also, since I'm a graphic designer, we're also starting to sell high-end, high-resolution PDFs to designers.
So you just mentioned eBay, and I know there are other platforms like Etsy and stuff which do all of these things. What is your experience with the online platforms? If you had to suggest it to anyone, what has your experience been with eBay or Etsy or any of the other marketplaces?
Can I cuss worldwide if I have to talk about eBay? eBay is a horrible platform to work with. Here's my experience of if I take the totality of my business, about 50% of our business comes through Instagram and Facebook. And of course, they're owned by the same.
But how is that? Is that people asking, just sending you an inquiry and then you're sending them a link to buy, or how does that whole process work? Or do you have
If you look at our Instagram, like you can see probably 4 things I put up yesterday, and I've already sold 2 of those. So what happens? Okay, wow. Oftentimes we'll put them up with the price, and then people say, "Can I buy that?" It's odd. I mean, it is pretty clear. I'm a good communicator that I'm a store, and every day I get questions of like, "Oh, do you sell these things?" So you have to do this kind of ongoing education with people. Whoever shared that, thank you. Oh, wow. That's my Instagram, and the store is absolutely spectacular. You've never seen anything like it. We're featured in Uppercase's ephemera book. I'm a regular contributor to Uppercase. We just had a television show come here. We get a lot of people who also want to film here for movies, and since I'm a designer director, people know me for that work. But the stuff you're going to see here on our Instagram is stuff you've never seen. Most people have never seen it anywhere. I mean, we have material from over 40 countries here. Asia market, European market, certainly the United States. And and because I'm selling things, it's all about condition for me. So I sell only things that are in 80% or better condition.
So how did you get into this business?
I'm a graphic designer, and I own this famous building in San Francisco. The top floor, as I said, was an event space, and then I had a tenant who went bankrupt, and so I decided to turn the ground floor. I've been collecting for 50 years, so I decided to turn the ground floor into this store. And then, of course, I decided I never do anything small, so I said, well, I'll just go around the world and find all these antique cabinets in Paris and
Belgium, wow,
everywhere, and I literally found some of the rarest things possible, and then I built the store to look like an 1850s letterpress shop and mercantile.
And how long have you had this business for?
Not even 3 years. So if I take out COVID, almost 2 years. So we're still infants in this business.
Okay. And moving forward, you say you've had a good run. People, I mean, obviously I see there's a lot of feedback and stuff. I mean, and in my understanding, because my dad was an antique collector as well, I always see that sometimes you buy for penny, you sell for pound. I mean, it works. Yeah. And
I have things that I don't have a lot of room in. I might buy something for $100. I can maybe sell it for $125, $150. But I have other things that I've spent pennies on because I've bought a collection, and I can monetize that. So what I'm starting to do now, what we're starting to do is, like I said, we scan about 1,000 items a day. We're putting together a book series, and I'm going to start selling books just for inspiration and for people. There's a lot of collectors out there who can't necessarily afford an item but have interest in a particular lane. So we're going to start selling books. We are already on our site selling PDFs of some of our more rare material, and I'm also starting to design a line of product using this material.
Can you remind me your name?
It's Mark Sackett, S-A-C-K-E-T.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we've gone above time right now, but it's been a very interesting session today. Sorry, my mind's not been, because my son's been all over the place. I'm not 100% here, but
let him talk.
Does anyone else have anything they want to speak about? Or, feel free, if does anyone want to say something, connect with anyone else?
Can I speak? If everybody allows me, how much time do you guys have? I want to show you something interesting, add some value to your lives. I know I haven't spoken yet, but if you guys allow me, I would like to show you something very interesting. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here to make some relationships, because it's all for fashion and decor.
Sure. Please go ahead.
I need to jump off the call, so I have a quick question before I do. This conversation was amazing. But I just got introduced to this. So I was wondering, is this a continuing conversation? Can we talk a little bit about Fashionably for a quick sec before I jump?
Of course. So I'm sorry. Because so many things. So we at Fashionably, we're an online platform based in London. We've been around for a few years. We do trade shows. Sadly, our business has been completely finished because of trade shows for the time being. Cross fingers, July we'll be back. July we'll be back with our shows again. So we basically organize a show twice a year, once in February and once in September. And simultaneously, we were more focused in the fashion business, to be honest with you. But recently this is our first home webinar, and we've just extended the last few months. We got into home with the home business and so many things happening. So we basically now do fashion, home, and then hopefully we'll move into different segments like lifestyle and other products later. So we basically connect companies. We connect companies with buyers, and we connect companies with sales agents and press. So that's what we do in our shows. And we also have virtual programs right now. So if anyone's looking to grow their business, we at Fashionably, we're very good with connecting people. We've been doing it for years, like how we got all of you together here. We basically set up B2B meetings, one-on-one meetings with buyers, suppliers and agents, and get them distribution all over the world. So say simultaneously, someone in India wants to grow their business in a specific market, we'd connect them. And then we'd look at how we can talk to people and see how we can make business happen. So these webinars that we're doing is pretty much something completely free. We're doing just to get people together and people to know what about our company is, like what we do, And I heard Paramount. We can't see you though.
Hold on, I haven't turned my camera on. I didn't want to scare anyone.
Okay, so we get Paramount, and then after that, if anyone else wants to say something, please feel free. And David, I know it's. What time is it in New Zealand right now?
It is now 6:15 in the morning.
Okay, so now it's just straight to office.
Yes, I'm at the office now. I've been at the office.
Oh, you've been at the office. I'm so sorry, but hopefully you found it very productive.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
I'm so glad. Okay, so where's Mr. Sorry, someone wanted to spam Mr. Paramount. Are you here?
Yeah, actually, my name is Ijlal. My company name is Paramount. But anyway, so I'm not here to sell you guys anything. I wanted to add a little value to you guys because you guys are all fashion professionals. Either you are somebody's selling home decor, somebody's manufacturing home decor, or somebody's manufacturing, I think, hardwood. I think you're one of your panelists, one of the very interesting, the first gentleman who left already, but maybe we can connect later. And somebody's doing something. So guys, although I'm a businessman here, but I'm here to just to add value to your lives, because I found this very interesting, this webinar thing. That's why I joined in. Anyway, what I would like to ask you guys is, how many of you guys are using 3D right now? Because created hardwoods, you're not
Using what? Did you say 3D what?
3D designing, virtual reality, augmented reality, whatever. Are you guys using? I'd like to show you something that I've developed with a friend. I mean, commercially, I'm not that involved in this, but it's like, I think Firdaus talked about, technology and software and being a guy with an angel investor and everything. So I'm kind of that. I'm also a lot of things like that. And Paul already left. He said a picture speaks 1,000 words. And I want to edit that and say a 3D speaks a million. Maybe, So if I have the permission of the host, may I share my screen?
Sure, please shoot. We're all interested.
Okay. So, I mean, of course, I have a tons of things, but your time is already gone up. So let me just show you guys something. So can you see this 3D stuff here? Some of this, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So guys, I mean, about 5 years ago, me and my friend started talking about, because since I'm a guy who likes to have minimal efforts and repeated results. You can say I'm kind of like a creative, lazy person. I don't like to make efforts again and again. So especially with our industry being a home decor industry, a lot of physical sampling and everything. So of course I'll give you all the links later. But so I don't know if this something is new for you. So we are a home decor, furniture and everything kind of industry. So we have you see a product like this. So it's like a 3D product here. So but what if you guys want to change the finishes? Because in our industry a lot of things is what finishes related to. So if you have this, this is like an antique brass kind of finish. So if you guys don't like this finish and you say, hey, you know what, I want to, a single click and it will just load up in a few seconds. And then you can also see this in AR, VR, augmented reality, all these kind of things.
So is this a software that you're selling to companies? Is it available right now?
I'm not selling this. A friend of mine has made it. I'm in Voice 001. I'm an angel investor for him. I can refer you guys. I've referred a lot of my friends who use all of this. I mean, commercially, I have no interest here, but I'll refer you because
my question is like this is good for people to visualize, like maybe people who to sell, like I would say Rebecca, maybe you want to show something to a specific client, right? Am I right? Is this something?
Exactly. See, Rebecca is a fashion, I think, a design company, and I think Colonial was a furniture company as a manufacturer. Created Hardwoods has a lot of hardwood stuff. The Press Room company has a lot of huge collections, and I mean, and Mr. Paul already left, so he had something. And then of course there was Mr. Firdaus. He had a lot of software thing. Of course, actually, my background is actually I'm an IT guy myself, but I'm from a manufacturing family. So I'm third generation businessman, but I'm a computer guy. So I'm actually in the wrong business technically, but that's a family thing anyway. So I always use tech to promote my business and help others. And of course, commercially, no interest involved. But I wanted to add value to you guys because when I got the invitation for your webinar and it said connecting people from all these kind of industries of the home, I thought maybe I can help somebody, like Mr. David from New Zealand. Maybe if he has a collection of textiles and he wants to show his rugs in many different finishes in just single clicks, because we do a lot of customization ourselves. So this is the kind of thing. And then of course, then I'm using a lot of 3D and virtual reality. Actually, unfortunately, COVID is a bad time. But interestingly, we grew 30% because of the tech we use. Because I was always very lazy. I don't like to go to physical exhibition myself. But one of my consultants is already also here from Germany. I invited him. He's actually a designer himself. I don't know if he's still here, Mr. Gunnar. but I think he is. But anyway.
So just a quick question. Just a quick question. Now, if someone wants to connect with you for this software and understand it, how do they do that? Can you put the details down? Like how do people?
I'll write you my number down, my WhatsApp number. This is only one software. I have like tens of software that I'm helping my friends promote because I'm a tech guy myself. I mean, of course, commercially again, no interest involved.
No, but listen. What you just showed us was very interesting, and I mean, I hope there is some commercial value, interest in yours in this, because I think that you're onto something really interesting where people can use.
Actually, I just want to help my friends grow. That's what I do. I mean, technically, commercial interest is I am actually not here to sell a product. I'm here to sell myself. I'm selling a relationship. So if you guys are impressed, I'll give you my number, my WhatsApp number. We can be in touch, and we guys can speak. I mean, I'm very impressed by your idea of connecting experts from different fields. So honestly, I mean, by the grace of God, I'm third generation. Luckily, I mean, we have enough to eat. So we do a lot of good charity, everything. So there's a lot of things here. But I just want to add value to people's lives. That's what I would do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, just to conclude, would anyone like to say anything else? Would anyone like to connect with each other? Please feel free, because please speak right now.
Yes,
because
I'd be very interested in what we just listened to. I'm interested in it for custom floor rug design, the software. If we could have Paramount, oh good, he's put it on the chat. That's good. Thank you.
Does anyone else want to say something? Any words of wisdom? Any final things before we close for the evening?
Yeah, I'd like to say something
from India. This is Chavi here, and I wanted to say about that we are the manufacturers of iron products, iron and wooden handicrafts. So if anyone is interested in importing or exporting, like we can share our catalogs to you, and our products we deal with antiques, and everything is very hard, like hand work, and the manufacturers, we are the manufacturers.
Put your details on the put your details on the message, and that would be great, so people can connect. I think maybe you should send it to even Mr. David. That would be good. And now next, anyone else, Miss Phil, anything else that you would like to conclude with saying?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if anybody's interested in our website, it's just createdhardwood.com. I'm putting all this in a chat too. And then our catalogs, if you go to catalogs, you'll be able to see the different collections we have. And like Rebecca, I actually just sent you an inquiry on your website too. So maybe we can talk a little bit later on, but we'd be glad to send anybody some hard copies of our catalog that show a little bit more about.
I'm so glad that networking is happening, because that's what we started our business for. So at least, I mean, I'm so happy that things are actually happening, and we're used to doing trade shows. So even if it's happening virtually, at least I feel like we're doing something right, So does anybody else want to say anything before we close? Please feel free. This is the last
Just wanted to ask David Heath if he comes to Mumbai as part of his travels to India for sourcing.
We used to when the borders were open, yes.
Okay, so it would be nice to chat next time you're here.
Sure.
And see if you'd like to sort of I found your profile of what you do very interesting, and to see if you would be interested in maybe adding on a furniture line to what you already do.
Yes, sure. That could be of interest in the future. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for that.
So we should be in touch.
Okay, could you connect us with Mr. Firdaus, because he left? I would like to speak
of course.
Personally,
so Firdaus is very easy. It's fcilondon.co.uk. fcilondon.co. I'll write.
I have his website, but I got his website from Kim. But if you have his contact number or something, that'll help.
Yes, definitely. I'll get you all his contacts. So thank you all for being here today. It was lovely and a lot of fun. I'm sorry I wasn't 100%, because my son's just been crazy. But thank you all for being here, and look forward to continually doing this. And And we will be back now. I think we're doing another webinar tomorrow, but it's more on premium textiles and manufacturing, which is a little off topic for you guys. But if anyone wants to come, please feel free. And thanks again, and be safe.
We'll see you again.
Thanks for setting it
Thank
up.
you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.